Please do like, share, and subscribe and press the bell icon.
Hello students, so today we'll be studying about mole concept and stoichiometry. You've already studied in class 9 that gases, they have got a tendency to behave similarly under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. That means if the temperature and pressure are same, the gases, they show the similar type of behavior. And we have studied certain laws based on it. That is, we have studied the Boyle's law, Charles' law, gas law, and so on. And all these laws, whether Boyle's law, Charles' law, whatever law that we'll be studying further also, all these laws, these are applicable only to the gases, not to the solids and to the liquids. But before we proceed further, let us first understand the meaning of the word, that is stoichiometry. That is stoichiometry. What does stoichiometry means? Now stoichiometry means what? Quantitative relationship. Something when we are dealing with the exact quantity. When we talk about the exact quantity of certain things, that is called as the quantitative relationship, or that is called as the stoichiometry. So in chemical reactions, what do we mean by stoichiometry? Obviously in chemical reactions, we are dealing with the reactants and the products. So when we deal with the exact quantity of the reactants and the products, or the exact quantity of the substances, chemical substances involved into a chemical reaction, that is called as the stoichiometry. So we can say over here, there is a quantitative relationship, exact quantity of the reactants and the products involved in a chemical reaction, that is called as the stoichiometry. Now what is mole concept? Now these atoms, ions or molecules, these are so small, it's not possible for us to measure them, to count them. So what do? We just take, instead of counting one individual atom or an individual ion or a particle, or to measure those individual particles, what do? We take a collection of certain particles, like how you have in 1 dozen. 1 dozen means what? 12 objects. Gross means what? 144 objects. So in this way, these elementary particles, a collection of these elementary particles, how many elementary particles? That is our 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. So we can say collection of 6.022 into 10 raised to elementary particles. That is called as the mole. So 1 mole means how much? 1 mole means collection of 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 elementary particles. Now elementary particles over here, it may be atoms, it may be ions, it may be molecules. So a collection of 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms means 1 mole of atoms. A collection of 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 ions means 1 mole of ions. A collection of 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules means 1 mole of the molecules. So that is called as the mole concept. So we can also define mole as amount of a pure substance containing the same number of chemical units as they are present in 12 grams of carbon 12. Now what does it mean? That means you take 12 grams of carbon 12. 12 grams of carbon 12. Now when you take 12 grams of carbon 12, there are some particles present into it. Now how many number of particles that are present into it? Now those many number of particles present into it, that is called as the 1 mole. Now how many number of particles are present into it? Now this concept of mole, it was found out by Avogadro. Now he said that in 12 grams of carbon 12, there are 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 elementary particles are present. So that means what? 12 grams of carbon 12 contains 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 particles. And these 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 particles, which may be the atoms, ions or molecule, that is equals to 1 mole. So we can say amount of a pure substance containing the same number of chemical units as they are present in 12 grams of carbon 12. So is it clear everyone? That is 12 grams of carbon 12 contains some elementary particles. Or we can say 12 grams of carbon 12 isotope contains some number of atoms which is equal to 1 mole. Now how many number of atoms? It is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 number of atoms, which is equal to 1 mole. Or 12 grams of carbon 12 contains these many, that is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules, which is equal to 1 mole of molecules. or 12 grams of carbon 12 is equals to 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 ions, which is equals to 1 mole of the ions. Okay. Now this concept was also given by Avogadro. This number was given by Avogadro. So this number is also called as the Avogadro's number. So if somebody asks you how much is the Avogadro's number, our Avogadro's number is equals to 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. So these many number of particles are present in 12 grams of carbon 12. So we can say what Avogadro's number is equals to number of atoms present in 12 grams of carbon 12 isotope, or number of elementary particles present in 12 grams of carbon 12 isotope, that is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms which are present in 12 grams of carbon 12, that is equals to Avogadro's number, or these many number of molecules is equals to Avogadro's number, or ions, these many number of ions is equals to, that is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 ions is equals to the Avogadro number. Or we can also define Avogadro's number as number of elementary units, that is atoms, ions or molecules present in 1 mole of a substance. So in 1 mole of a substance, how many elementary units are present? These many elementary units are present, that is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. So, and this is only called as the Avogadro's number, and this number is equals to 1 mole. So what can we say? Avogadro's number is equals to 1 mole, which is equals to 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Now let us have some few more examples of this concept, that is our mole. Now 1 mole, let us consider 1 mole of sulfur dioxide. One mole of sulfur dioxide. Let us find out the molecular mass of sulfur dioxide. Now as sulfur atomic mass is, atomic weight is 32 plus this 16, oxygen is 16 into 2 because it is 2, so this we get it as 64, that is 64 grams. So this 64 grams, that is equals to what? This is the molecular mass of sulfur dioxide. So 1 mole of sulfur dioxide is equals to 64 grams. We can say 1 mole of sulfur dioxide is equals to 64 grams of it. Now in 64 grams of the sulfur dioxide, there are how many number of atoms? That contains is equals to, it contains 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 S atoms, sulfur atoms, and oxygen is 2 over here. So 2 into 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 oxygen atoms, and whatever the volume occupied by 1 mole of a substance, the volume occupied by 1 mole of a substance, that is called as the molar volume. So I am just rubbing it off. So the volume occupied by 1 mole of a substance volume occupied by 1 mole of a substance is equals to molar volume, and its value is how much? 22.4 liters. So we can say 1 mole of sulfur dioxide has got is equals to these many number of grams, and it occupies how much of the volume? That is 22.4 liters. So 1 mole of sulfur dioxide is equals to 64 grams, and this volume is, molar volume is equals to 22.4 liters. Or we can also say 64 grams of sulfur dioxide is equals to 1 mole. 64 grams of sulfur dioxide is equals to 1 mole, and its molar volume is equals to 22.4 liters. 1 mole of a gas will always occupy 22.4 liters. So molar volume, that is a fixed quantity that we take it as 1 molar volume is equals to 22.4 liters. Now this is what? So 1 mole of sulfur dioxide is 64 grams, and how many number of sulfur atoms it contains? 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 sulfur atoms. What about oxygen? Oxygen is 2 over here, that is 2 into 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 oxygen atoms. Let us take another example. ammonia. So 1 mole of NH3 is equals to how many grams? That is nitrogen we know 14 plus hydrogen 1 into 3. So that is equals to 17 grams. So 17 grams of ammonia is equals to 1 mole, or we can say 1 mole of ammonia is equals to 17 grams of it. Now in this it contains, therefore it contains 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms of nitrogen, and it also contains, here hydrogen is 3, that is 3 into 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms of hydrogen. Clear? And 1 mole of ammonia or 17 grams of ammonia will occupy 22.4 liters. So this is the molar volume. I repeat, 1 mole of ammonia or 17 grams of ammonia will occupy 22.4 liter. So the moment you come to know that 17 grams of ammonia will occupy how much of the volume, that is equals to 22.4 liters, that is a molar volume, or 17 grams of ammonia is equals to 1 mole. Or say if somebody asked you 1 mole is equals to how many grams of ammonia, 1 mole is equals to 17 grams of ammonia. Suppose if I ask you 1 mole of carbon dioxide is equals to how many grams, so what will you do? 1 mole of carbon dioxide, that is carbon is what? CO2, carbon is 12 plus oxygen, that is 16 into 2, you will be getting it, that is 12, look here, CO2, 1 mole of carbon dioxide, that is 12 plus 16 into 2, that is 12 plus 32, so that will be 44 grams. That is 1 mole of carbon dioxide is equals to 44 grams, and it contains, that is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms of carbon and 2 into 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms of oxygen, and 44 grams of carbon dioxide will occupy 22.4 liters of the volume, that is a molar volume. So this is the concept with the mole and the mole concept and the stoichiometry. Next I will explain you about the Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume. So let me first write down the law. So Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume. So Gay-Lussac's law, what does it states? It states when gases react, they do so in volume which bear a simple ratio to one another and to the volume of the gaseous product, provided that all the volumes are measured at the same temperature and pressure. Let me first explain this law, then I will come back to the statement. Now this is an example, that is nitrogen reacting with hydrogen forming ammonia. Now look over here, there is one molecule, that is over here 1, and here is how many? 3. So 1 is to 3. When we consider, that means these gases, they are reacting in volume. What do we say? These gases, according to this law, these gases, they are reacting in volume, and the volume of these reactant, they bear a simple volume of the reactant as well as the product. That is, they bear a simple ratio to one another. What is a simple ratio? Over here it's 1, then here 3, then here 2. So this 1 is to 3 is to 2. This is a simple ratio. That means these gases, they are reacting in a particular volume. That means 1 volume of nitrogen is reacting with 3 volumes of hydrogen to form 2 volumes of ammonia. So when gases react, they do so in volume which bear a simple ratio to one another, and these volumes, that is 1 is to 3 is to 2, volume of the reactants as well as the volume of the product, these are a simple ratio. Next, carbon monoxide reacting with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, that is 2 volumes of carbon monoxide reacting with 1 volume of oxygen to form 2 volumes of carbon dioxide. So when we see the ratio, it's 2 is to 1 is to 2, and this ratio is a simple ratio. So this is what it means, that whenever the gases react, these are all the gases, these are in the gaseous state. Whenever the gases react, first of all, they will be reacting in volume. Whenever the gases react, they react in volume and to the volume of the gaseous product. That means the product which is formed, that will also be in volume. The gases will react in volume, the products formed will also be in volume, and all these volumes will be bearing a simple ratio to one another. That is what is your Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume. That is, when gases react, they do so in volume, which bear a simple ratio to one another and to the volume of the gaseous product, provided that all the volumes are measured at the same temperature and pressure. So this is applicable when all these volumes of the reactants and the products, they are at the same temperature and pressure. That means the reactants which we have taken and the products that has been formed, they have been taken at the, we are considering the same temperature and pressure. Then this law, that is Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume, is possible. So let us solve a numerical based on this. I'll just copy down the numerical for you. Okay. Calculate the volume of oxygen at STP required for the complete combustion of 100 liters of carbon monoxide at the same temperature and pressure. Let us first understand the numerical. What is the question wants from us? Now this is the equation given, that is carbon monoxide is reacting with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. So what the numerical has given, that calculate the volume of oxygen. We have to find out the amount of oxygen at standard temperature and pressure required for the complete combustion of 100 liters of carbon monoxide. That means if we are taking 100 liters of carbon monoxide, how much of the oxygen that will be required for us. So what we'll be doing, our first step is, first of all, check whether the equation has been balanced. 2C over here. Then sometimes it so happens in the examination the equations are not balanced. So what you will be doing, that you will be checking those equations that it has been balanced or not, then you will be proceeding. Oxygen 2 over here and 4 over here, here 2 is a 4. So it is a balanced chemical equation. So next step over here is what? 2 volumes. Over here 1 volume and here 2 volume. Okay? Therefore, you can write down in statement, if you have time, that is 2 volumes of carbon monoxide reacts with 1 volume of oxygen to form 2 volume of carbon dioxide. Next statement will be what? The gases are reacting in volume, or the gases they are, or simply you can mention the gases bear a simple ratio to one another. And they are also in volumes, which you are writing down over here. So you can write down once again, or you are writing down in this first statement. The gases bear a simple ratio to one another, and hence the reaction follows Gay-Lussac's law. Gay-Lussac's law. Okay. Then next, therefore 100 liters of carbon monoxide will require oxygen is equals to what you will be doing. Here it is 1. So 1 by 2. This 1 and this 2. 1 by 2 into 100. So that will be what? 50. That is 50 liters. That is 50 liters of oxygen will be required. Therefore your answer will be what? 50 liters of oxygen. Another thing, I am solving these numericals from your concise chemistry exercise 5B. So you can go through the similar examples. Let us solve the next example. So I'll just copy down the next numerical. So our next numerical, 200 cubic centimeter of hydrogen and 150 cubic centimeter of oxygen are mixed and ignited as per the reaction. So this is a given reaction. What volume of oxygen remains unreacted? So what is the equation asked? What the question is asking us? It has given us the amount of hydrogen, and it is also saying that some amount of oxygen has also been provided for the reaction. That is, some amount of hydrogen has been provided for the reaction, some amount of oxygen has been provided for the reaction. Both of them, they have been ignited together to form water molecules. From whatever the amount of oxygen that has been provided over here, we have to find out how much remains unreacted. That means after the reaction gets completed, how much of the oxygen remains unreacted. Now what happens whenever a reaction takes place? We are taking some reactants. Sometimes it so happens that the whole of the reactants gets consumed up, and sometimes it so happens that some of the reactants, they remain unused. So here they are asking us how much of the oxygen remains unreacted over here. So our first step over here, the same thing, that is first of all you will be checking the equation, or I am writing down the equation once again over here. 2H2 plus O2 forming 2H2O. We will check the equation, it's been balanced, 2 to the 4, 2 to the 4, oxygen is 2, oxygen is 2, so it's balanced. Then 2 volume over here, 1 volume, and this is 2 volume. If the equation is not balanced, you are going to balance it. Okay, then the next segment, 2 volumes of hydrogen reacts with 1 volume of oxygen to give 2 volumes of water. Okay. The gases, there is now these gases and the product. The gases and the product bear a simple ratio to one another. In the previous example, I missed out to tell you about the product. You write down product also over there. The gases and the product bear a simple ratio to one another. Hence, the reaction follows Gay-Lussac's law. Now I always mention this step, you should always, you will find that in certain books they are not mentioning this step, but I always recommend this step, because whenever you are solving a numerical, it's your responsibility that you have to mention that by which law, which reaction, what it is following, which like formula that you are using. So we are using the Gay-Lussac's law over here. So 200 cubic centimeter, first of all we will finding out how much of oxygen that has been required. So 200 cubic centimeter of hydrogen requires oxygen is equals to what you will be doing over here, 1 by 2, again in the same way 1 by 2 into 200, so that will be 100, so that is equals to 100 cubic centimeter of oxygen. So therefore oxygen required, or oxygen used up is equals to 100 cubic centimeter. Oxygen provided is how much? Oxygen provided, how much we have been provided? 150 cubic centimeter. Therefore unused oxygen or unreacted, they are asking unreacted, therefore unreacted or unused oxygen is one and the same thing. Unreacted oxygen is equals to, what you will be doing, 150 minus 100, so that will be 50 cubic centimeter. So your answer will be what? Always write down this in the end, it becomes easier for the teachers to check as well as to correct. So there is 50 oxygen, unreacted oxygen is equals to, oxygen is equals to 50 cubic centimeter. Alright students, so you can go through the similar numericals, and some few more numericals I will be getting for you people. Thank you.